Hello and welcome our Columban guests today, Fathers Cathal Gallagher and John Boles. Columban Father Cathal Gallagher is the Regional Director of South America. He has spent over 30 years in Peru, working in the poor areas of the country.
The year 2020, 2021, yes, a difficult year, a year when the pandemic initially paralyzed many, but then allowed the creativity within to break through in so many ways. With the Zoom, Facebook, WhatsApp, and a myriad of other social networking applications, where the parishes provided masses and liturgies, and the parish groups provided emotional containment to those who were suffering. The collaboration in food kitchens, the home produce of organic gardens, the solidarity shown in the care of people suffering from COVID and with migrants has been immense. A year when the priorities of neoliberal economics were unmasked, showing clearly that health systems and the education sector and the use of informal work had left huge swathes of the population unattended and in dire need. Systems that cannot be changed overnight and that must be included in the reconstruction of societies in the post-pandemic era. As missionaries, we are ideally placed to experience and accompany the process of envisaging this new reality, from the local, more parochial, to the district and regional levels. In Peru, perhaps one of our most important achievements this year was the convoking of the Social Action Network of the Civil Society of Northern Lima. This network includes people from non-governmental organizations, parishes, and other churches, local government representatives, people from the Ministry for Health, Immigration, the Ombudsman's Office, and it strives to respond to the many needs of the people through the various commissions which have been set up to respond on healthcare, migrants, food security, spiritual formation, and citizenship. While responding on the local level, it also networks with others in advocacy for the common good. As Pope Francis says, no one will ever openly deny that the poor are human beings, yet in practice, by our decisions and the way we treat them, we can show that we consider them less worthy, less important, less human. For Christians, this way of thinking and acting is unacceptable, since it sets certain political preferences above deep convictions of our faith, the inalienable dignity of each human person, regardless of origin, race, or religion. Of course, to say this is often seen as political, but it's a different kind of politics. So again, I quote Pope Francis. If politics must truly be at the service of the human person, it follows that it cannot be a slave to the economy and finance. Politics is instead an expression of our compelling need to live as one, in order to build as one the greatest common good, that of a community which sacrifices particular interests in order to share in justice and peace its goods, its interests, and its social life. I do not underestimate the difficulty that this involves, he says, but I encourage you in the effort. Returning to the region of South America, in Chile, we again see the mix of the local and the more general. I am conscious of the parish priest who celebrated the Holy Communion of all those participating in the program by visiting the individual families and holding the first communion of their child within the family bubble. This is family pastoral care in practice. The parish communities would set up shelters for homeless migrants. and try as best they can to accompany and integrate them into their local communities. All this, plus the work of young people trying to come together to think about the common good, to think about the message of how to care for our environment, our common home. This year, yes, a strange year, but I'm reminded of the Chinese characters for crisis, which explain it all much better than I can. One character says danger, the second says opportunity. This was a year when both aspects were present.
Columban Father John Boles was born on St. Columban's Day, in England, and baptized by a Columban. He was appointed to the Columban mission in Lima, Peru, shortly after his ordination in 1996, and remained there for most of the last 25 years.
A mistaken impression that many people have is that missionaries are arriving at pagan places, places where God has never existed in the beliefs of the people. This is completely untrue. Wherever missionaries have arrived at, God has been there beforehand. The Spirit has arrived beforehand. That's because we know that people, right from the start of civilization, right from the start of humanity, have had divine beliefs in the divine. Here is an example. I'm standing in front of a temple on the edge of Lima in Peru, a temple known, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, as El Paraíso, the paradise, which has a time limit, they think, being founded 43 centuries ago, over 4,500 years ago, where the ancient inhabitants of this area worshipped certainly Astros, or what you might call astronomic phenomena, like the sun or the moon. Now we know that Jesus is the light of the world. And look here, 43 centuries after, Catholic missionaries, in the form of the Columban Fathers, have arrived, and we're celebrating Christmas, the Christmas Mass, which is what you can see and hear behind me. Not so different. All we had to do was to adjust our beliefs a little to know the origin of this life, of this light. And that's the contribution that missionaries are making here, a continuation of 43 centuries of belief in the divine.